Good morning. I am Aura. I begin this session by asking permission of the universal consciousness, Christ consciousness, and the viewers, listeners' consciousness to connect and channel all relevant messages using fire, air, water, earth, and ether as vibrational currents. I ask for protection and security for all persons involved and disallow the ill intentions of others, known, unknown, conscious and unconscious, energetic, technical, and physical, from penetrating our psyches, spirits, and auric field, and this channel of connection. And so it is. Today is September 20th, 2019. You're listening to Love Motives Meditation. I'll put the link in the description box. It's pretty damn awesome. So, I asked what the messages were for the collective. If you view my channel, you are part of my soul family, my soul group. Needless to say, that's not many, okay? Which is a good thing. So, first card out is the Knight of Wands. Things are accelerating. People are being more bold, more daring, more unlike themselves in a good way, if that makes sense. The Knight of Wands here is ready to take on the world, ready for a new day, ready for a new project. And because these other cards came in upside down, and I'm using a phone to record, so I couldn't shuffle, and I'm not using my cell phone stand. Come what may, I'm ready to take it on. Let's get this shit on the road. Let's get this show on the road. Spirit, I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever you have coming for me. Nine of Cups was at the bottom, so it definitely lets me know that the trajectory is, though you don't know what to expect, it's not about the expectation here. It's because you have a knowing here, emotionally, intuitively. Whatever you're up against, you have the endurance to trailblaze. You have the ability to say, fuck this, fuck that, and fuck her, fuck him. I got shit to do, spiritually. And it's not a egoic type of energy here. This is it's mine, and I have to put in the work. I have to move fast. Time is limited, it seems. I know we have some, excuse the notification, we have some astrological events that will I don't want to say hamper things. I will say there's been a stall since Cancer season because of the eclipses and the retrograde and Mercury and the other planets. There were like 5 planets in retrograde, and Saturn just now stationing and about to bring order to situations. You're ready to put in the work. Whatever you're working on, whether it's by yourself or someone else, it's never Cyclops. It's never I alone. It's Lupe Fiasco. But in a sense, the only thing that you can account for is the effort that you're putting in. The work that you're doing. Striking while the iron is hot is what I wanted to say. And God damn it, Spirit knows. This is sometimes hasty, but at this point, You're protected. You're covered. Completely covered. And you have a mode of transportation, a vehicle, which is your vessel, in order to do so. It's when you're putting in the work. It's when you're vulnerable. When your shadowscapes is what was coming to mind. When you're in there and you're restructuring. You take this Ace of Pentacles that is you, and you toss around the idea, Two of Pentacles, and really try to reconfigure and recalibrate and see what is outdated and what's relevant. How much more of these beliefs are mine? How much more do I have, and what else can I dissect? And here's where you're past the bare bones. There's no way to hit rock bottom once you've hit it again. I just don't see it. Once you hit the complete bottom, you have something firm. Money talks, man. Bullshit walks. Had to see a man about a horse. Anyway, so yeah, this is something. These cards are one person doing the work, putting in the paperwork, doing the faxing, making the calls, doing the practical, everyday little things, checking up on emails, scratching off things off that to-do list. These are the chores. These are the seemingly mundane. It's the little things that add up to the fulfillment. Everyone wants a big spillover of emotions, or say they want this happy life, and they think that it comes in one lump sum, when it's each of these pentacles. Okay, renovating a house, you don't do it in a day. That's why you were out on TLC. That took 2 days, and they had a whole crew and stuff behind the scenes. But when it's you by yourself, one day you wash the walls, second day you go and pick out the paint, third day you get you've got all your supplies set up. You do a swatch, test out a piece of the wall. Okay, yeah, I like that color. And maybe you don't. You're still in the beginner stages, and you can say, okay, well, I want to do this different. I'm going to get a different shade of beige, or a different shade of green, different shade of whatever. You paint the wall. Cool. Next up, the molding. Do you want it? Do you not? Are you changing light fixtures? Are you putting fans in? So it's little bit by little bit goes into this transformative state. It's reworking to make a sound foundation. That was a Freudian slip and it fit, but a sound foundation that you actually adhere to, that you actually agree with, not because my mom did it this way, but why do I like this? I'm gonna move this painting here. Or they always had pictures on the mantle. That's just what we do. Well, shit, I don't want to look at all of the family. I just want to see my damn self. Put a big ass picture of yourself in your bedroom. Or go look at artwork, something that is expressive to you. Everything's digital. And I know I'm getting real specific, but it's just that type of thing. Feng shui, change it up, switch it up, but you're still putting in the work to cultivate who it is that spiritually is you. Physically, it's now the spirit is trying to catch up to what the practical side of you is, and it's coming in fast. It's coming in very fast. So who you thought you were, and what you thought you liked, and things like that, your authenticity is coming to the forefront through this gallivanting. The spirit is not they're not taking it easy on you anymore as far as tiptoeing and giving you it's a choice. It's always a choice to step into who you are. People choose to not be authentic, but at this point in time, it's relevant for you to pick up your own likes, hobbies, and really start to put in the practice of who you are. This is a very forceful, consensual energy. You're not blindsided. You can look and see it any time. But this is coming in a cavalry. It's coming in now. Oh shit. For good reason. What you have been doing had not been working. And you're getting a second chance. 10, 2 plus 0 is, there's 2 10s. It's a 20. Numerologically. A second wind. A second chance. Redeliberating. This is an appeal process. This is renegotiating, or, like I said, an appeal process. Up until this point, you did shit a certain way and this and that, but you weren't happy. It was too mundane. It was too cyclical. But this is where you decide to do it different. You can go to the Four of Pentacles, fine, but do you go into the Four of Pentacles with a hoard of paperwork, or do you go into the Four of Pentacles just busy with things that you like to do and that you like to get done? There's a big difference between working on projects that benefit others and working on projects that benefit you in the long run. It's like clocking into a 9 to 5, and you might do the 8 of Pentacles at that 9 to 5, the repetitious over and over and over and this and that. But when it comes to your own projects, your own life path, your own purpose, there has been very little progress actually made. You have some staples, you got some papers, you got a writing instrument or a communication instrument, you have listeners, you have viewers, you have correspondence that needs to be sent, you have goods to create, to cultivate, to make, you have ingredients. And it may start out with just 3 ingredients, something very basic, but it's something very you. Now, this was outcome. Like, this was the overall vibe. But this was additional message, additional guidance that was coming in. Decide. Be clear. And it is appropriate with the house remodeling. Four of Wands is a home. It's a structure. It's spiritually feeling at home. Feeling secure. Feeling safe. In a spiritual way. This is a togetherness. It's community. Feeling comfortable where you lay. Feeling comfortable where you consider yourself to be a part of. There was a missing piece. And that had to be done in a physical sense. It wasn't enough to just want it. It wasn't enough to just feel it. It wasn't enough to just, it wasn't enough. If you had ever been waiting for someone to do something with what you have, then they can't do it. Sheeps are idle. They graze, they wander and this and that. She's looking up at the squirrel who's taking action, who's moving. Even, bunnies, they're quick. Night of Wands, quick. There's a quickening. Yeah. Look at that. Someone may come in with a pentacle, but you have to do this first. You have to be here first. You have to put in the work first. Someone can add to that and make this more real, more tangible, as far as a secure position, a secure business, a secure, you're remodeling and this and that. You can't move the furniture by yourself. You have somebody who comes in and lends a hand. Or you have someone who gives you a piece of artwork, something to cultivate, further establish what you're trying to do. Just a piece of information. Something that you can actually use, though. Something you learned. You picked up a notion and made it real. Someone gave you an idea on how to better do what it is you're already doing. And you rolled with it. Or will roll with it. Have rolled with it. Planning to roll with it. No more planning. This is action. It was a decision. This could be legalities, contracts, things with your name written on them, corporations. Someone puts a stamp of approval. I see that there. Stamp of approval. They could be, you could be getting something notarized to make shit real. You could be getting copyrights for things that you've written. You could be looking into patents on something that you've invented. But you need another piece of information. And that's pretty much what you've been waiting on. You've got a stockpile of stuff waiting. This is what you're working on. This is what you have set aside, whether it's actual finances or ideas. They're growing, though you're only working with the minimum. There's like a no-bake cheesecake. And this is the potential. I have all the ingredients to make one from scratch. But time constraints or limited patience or limited time or for whatever reason, I'm going to start this here. I'm going to do it this way first. As I evolve and as I get set aside more time and have more patience and more security, I will do it from scratch. You may buy, if it's a plant, you could buy something and start it, and they've giving you all the tools, or you have the seedlings, you have the dirt, you have this and that, but the pot, you do it in the house. You start small, one herb, something that you can that grows quick. This is more like a garden. Where you're actually out there tilling the ground and using the hoe and pulling weeds and really getting in there and doing the work. This is starter plant from Walmart. And that's okay. You're still doing the same thing, just not to the same degree, just not to the same status just yet. A comedian starts telling jokes to family and friends first. Three of Pentacles. They have people watching them, people telling them, hey man, that was funny or whatever. Keep going. And then this is being on a stage in front of more people at a venue. There's levels to this shit. The thing is, the reason why this works and the reason why this is great and the reason why this is going to be successful is because you clearly decided that this energy coming in was going to be used to change, to reignite a decision that you once made. You made it in a way that you got detoured and you were halted. You found out it was a dead end to attempt to do it that way. It was too far-fetched, or it was too many thoughts and not enough action, too scattered, or this is an organizational energy. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. It's a repetition, but you got to get the basics down first. You have to get the tempo. You have to get the rhythm. You always had the basics. So that's where you go back to. ABC. 1, 2, 3. Red, yellow, blue. Start with the primary ingredients. Start with the primary knowledge. Start with the primary things that you can do before you get everything else. This is coming in. This is something that's already attainable. This is already, but you can't start with this. You don't have this liquid. It's not in your hand. It's still on the tree. She still has to put in the work to even get up there to pick them. This is what you have on hand. Utilize this. And you'll see the drastic difference. I'm gonna flip this over. I want to see what this card is. Oh shit. You have the very real chance to do some shit with the shit you already have. Change the game up a little bit. It'll be like you're a beginner, but only because you've been past this point. Spiritually, emotionally, physically, this is, I think you get stopped at the 4. You get stopped at the 4 and you hold on to it. Maybe you don't think it's good enough, or maybe you don't feel that it's noteworthy, that people are actually paying attention, or that what you have to offer is not being seen, not being heard, not being recognized. You still have, it's not perfect. So let me go back. You fall in love with it again, start it again, and then you get to the 4 and you stop. This is push through and promise that if you do the work, stop constantly talking yourself out of it. Talking yourself out of it. See, actually, they go that way. Naysayers. People who do what you do, you're not giving yourself enough credit. This one sword has more power and more definition than these that he's holding. And I feel this could be a part of you collecting all this shit that people have given to you. Thoughts. Think about You can think about all the ways that it won't work, that it won't be successful, and turn around and use them for exactly why they will. Why you can. Why you do better than the doubt, the fear, the betrayal. What if someone does this to me? What if this happens? What if, okay, you have a counter argument. You have the information, the frequently asked questions. You have answers for that. There's an app for that. There's resolution. This is a 5. So this is a challenge. True, it's a challenge, but no match for the king energy. Because there's big shit on the line. And triumphant. 6 of Wands, they're going to see you. It's not about what they have to say. They're put in place in order to detour you yet again. Only because spiritually, you know you can. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of doubt when it comes to the practical work that you're doing. The time and energy and effort you're actually putting in. Oh shit. The wind wants to blow. And I'm gonna let it blow. As long as my cars don't go flying all around the neighborhood. Other thing is, they're not even wanting to stall you from your path. They want to see if you know that you can easily get past that shit. Do you believe in what you're trying to do? Do you think you can do it? Anytime somebody comes at you with a question that you have to ask yourself twice about, it's an opportunity to answer your own question. That's actually your question. It's not theirs. That's fear, that's doubt. And they give you questions, and King of Swords is actually answering them. Yes, sitting on a crate. King of Swords can answer that question. Spirit knows, and it's moving you in the right direction. This same motherfucker that was in battle gonna come back and get the acclaim. Because this is at stake. All those questions, like the King of Swords looking at a younger version of himself. Every time somebody said, you can't. You can't hit those scales on that instrument. You can't play first chair. You can't do this, or why should you? Why should you? Why should I? Because I fucking can. Because I'm great at it and I can do it better. Because no one does it like I do it. And you're using more than just the intellect. You're using more than just the spirit. You're using more than just the practical. You've got all elements on the board, actually. Cups, wands, pentacles, swords. So no one can tell you that you don't have it, that you can't do it, that it's not going to, there's been so many things said against or thought against what it is that you're trying to achieve. Write them all down and pick them apart and really look at them one by one. This person, it's almost when, as soon as you propose something to someone, there's a question of doubt and a question of fear that's placed on it. In holding. It's put in queue. Right then and there. Tackle it. They don't need to know how you're going to do it. They don't need to know when you're going to do it. They don't need to know what you're going to use. They don't need to know none of that. But tell them why it works. You can do it physically, actually verbally communicate it, or you can just put it in your Rolodex, put it in your mind, put it in your journal, or what have you. Because as soon as you reveal something to someone, or you tell someone what you're doing or what you want to do, you can get the influx of doubt that you get, and those thoughts that you get don't even belong to you. They belong to someone else. Just so fucking telepathic that you're just picking up on it. You can clearly hear it, and it sounds like it's your own, because you're asking yourself the question that they didn't verbalize. You picked up a thought that they had about what you're capable of. And that's sound, judgment, sound, instrument. Damn, I forgot. It even had an instrument in that card. Like a fool, ignore the fuck out of them. These thoughts, these doubts. You got some major players on the board. Look at that. I don't see the world card here, so it's not as if this cycle is completely done for you. I feel you never got to completion. You never got completely to the end of what it is, what this is that you're actually doing. You barely even got started. But who you are, when I motherfucker tell you who you are, it trumps all this shit. This is starting completely from scratch with nothing. What do I have to lose if I start with nothing? All I have is space and opportunity, but luckily I have something. I have something. I have something. I have something. I'm going to decide that I want this to come to fruition. I want this wish. I want this happiness. I want this contentment. I want to feel pleased with what I've created. It's got the recipe. Of course, you'll always have pests around while you're doing what you're doing. It could be a spider in the fucking corner. Or it could be a homeboy, homegirl that calls you and question, not knowing. They could feel this. This isn't inclusive of anyone else. This is something that you're doing alone. But this sense of community, people in your soul group inadvertently will intervene, not even knowing that their interruption has been a deterrent. So there's a level of confidence that is unstoppable coming in, because you know who the fuck you are and you know what you're going after. No one really knows what the outcome is for you, but you have a vision and you see it. And Spirit is saying, since you decided, I have to deliver. So basically, that's it. As simple and maybe not so simple as it is, as it seems, that's all it is. Okay. Closing out this session, I thank the universal consciousness, Christ consciousness, and viewers and listeners consciousness for providing vital information for those with ears to hear, hearts to feel, and spirits to grow and heal. Allow this tether of energy to be closed and sealed until express permission to realign has been asked and granted. May all persons involved accept only what is truly in alignment with them within their sound, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual discernment and safety. And so it is.